Alright, welcome to my channel. This is Lock Chuck. What I'm working on today is I have this Sargent and Greenleaf Environmental padlock. It did not come with a key. I did see in the pictures that it had 09 stamped on the core plug. So I made a 109 key out of brass rod. Well, that key didn't work when I got it. So I tried messing around with it, trying like a tension wrench here as my picking tool and just tried to pick around on it and see if I could find out what I could find or see if I could get it picked with this. I couldn't. I wasn't having luck. I had made already made a tensioning and a picking tip, but it was made basically, here it is, off of the classic abloy style, which was a rear tension, because I was thinking since it was a 109, if I had any trouble, I'd be able to rear tension. But what I later found out is the discs were mixed up in here, so it was not keyed to a 109 key. So what I had to do, I tried all the different combinations and everything from what I could tell online. And what it said online was basically you had three positions. You had a 0, a 45, and then a 90. Well, I tried those and I wasn't having any luck. Well, I should have, or maybe I didn't find a video that actually mentioned it, but really, it shouldn't be a 0. It should be more like a slight 10-degree. That was where I didn't realize till I took it apart where I was having the trouble. The discs, if you turn them fully counterclockwise, there is no gate. It's a slight turn, just a slight turn, and it gets it in the gate. And I'll show you that if I get it apart. But so that's where I was having trouble. I didn't know that at the time, so I went and made a random tensioning tool and picked it like I would any other abloy, and lo and behold, it opened up for me. So I'm going to try that now. So I've turned everything clockwise, just like you pick any other. I would pick any other, or most disc detainer locks. So everything's rotated clockwise, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with front tension. I'm actually going to make sure I get my picking tip on. Let's see, picking tips on the second one disc, because there's only 3 discs, and I put this one, well, they're both picking tips, but this tip is on the first disc. So then I'm going to apply tension here, which is on disc 1 or the front disc, and I'm going to counter rotate the second disc, which I'm going to keep rotating it backwards. Okay. Right. Ooh. Slipped off the first disc. I think feels like a gate. Yep. Feels like a gate there. Yep, right about there. So now I'm gonna try and go to the last disc or the back disc. Let's see if I can get on it. So one thing about a random tensioner, you have nothing to lean up against. Unless I had that little spacer, but it's kind of hard to do a spacer when you're doing a random tensioner. So I can get past it. Come on. Okay, I slipped off the first disc trying to adjust and just trying to get back on it. So I'm on the first disc on this tensioner, and I'm going to try to get my right there. Okay. Oh, I slipped past it. It's like once you get it in there, it just wants to go right on. All right, so I'm on the back disc finally. So I am going to rotate counterclockwise, feeling for any gate. All right, I'm all the way. Well, didn't feel any gate there. So just like I would assume, just like you would any other disc detainer, since I didn't feel anything, I go back fully clockwise because that may be where the gate's at and I'm just not able to feel it. So now I'm going to switch my tension up. So I'm going to move my tension from the front one to the back one. And now I'm going to check this disc by counter rotating it. And the lock just turned. So we are now unlocked. So that's how I got it open, using this picking tip. So I'm going to give this a quick gut and show you what's inside. I have already removed the grub screw. I didn't have an Allen wrench small enough, so I had to file down the end of an ejector pin to actually work as a little Allen wrench for this thing. So there is the grub screw, which was already removed from here. So all right, I'm gonna get and fast forward to this. All right, so make sure I'm in the frame. Here are the discs. You only have 3 discs. So this is the front one, middle, and then back. Then you have these spacers here. This spacer, they're all the same except for this one, and it just has like a spring wire around it, I believe, to help push the sidebar out. It does have 2 sidebars. One is just to keep these, it's like a limiter, so it limits how far the discs can rotate, and it keeps these spacers aligned. It also keeps that spring aligned, but only one of them is active. So that's the way that works. Here's inside the core. There's only one channel. I don't know if you can see that down in there, but there's only one channel here for the sidebar. There is no channel on the other side. So yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to assemble this just to show you what I was talking about, why it needs to be rotated. Just a little bit, but I'm only going to put the spacers. Let's take that off. Okay. That one. I gotta grab the right discs. All right. So this is one disc that is basically a 0 turn. So when it's turned all the way counterclockwise, as you can see, it's not in that gate. It does need to turn just a few degrees to get it in that first gate. So that's what I was talking about, that I hadn't seen on the video, that people say you need to just turn it just a little bit before you start trying to hit those that 0, 45, and 15. I believe is one I was mainly watching was Bozzy and Bill's video, was really good on this, about picking it. But I don't know if he ever mentioned that it needed to be turned just a little bit, because if it's fully counterclockwise, it's not. Oops, I went past the retainer, so it's not in that gate. It's on the edge of it, but it's not in that gate, so it just needs to be turned slightly. And that is the 0 cut, because here is, let's see, because I got all 3 cuts in this disc. This one I believe is the 90 cut, and then this one is the front disc, which is only a 45 cut. So as you can see there, so you can see in the back there's the 0, there's 45, and then the 90 cut. So all right, I'm gonna get it back together and show you the key working. Okay, so I got my key made. This is the key. I ended up making out of a brass rod, 5/16 brass rod, the bitting, and I silver soldered on. I went and got some brass washers instead of trying to cut it out of a solid bar of brass, which was time consuming. I just went, paid a few cents, and got some brass washers, which I think looks great on that. Looks good for a homemade key, and it does function great. No catching, no problems. So that is the key, or I believe it would be a 109 key for this lock. So there it is. So now I've got a functioning key for this Sargent Greenleaf Environmental lock. So all right, thanks for watching. If you don't mind, give me a thumbs up, and if you like my content, give me a subscribe. Thank you.